Good morning. It's a pretty warm morning compared to my previous mornings. It's 43 degrees according to my car. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a helicopter that was hovering over here for a long time. Then it went away and now it sounds like it's coming back. Anyway, for breakfast I'm making my world famous breakfast quesadilla. It's just cheese and ham. And here is the finished product. It's hailing. And the helicopter landed just like half a mile over this way before taking off again over here. I'm driving now back up the wash, about half a mile to the trailhead for Ding and Dang Canyons. The helicopter is right in front of me, chilling here. Utah Department of Public Safety. So I'm here at the trailhead for Ding and Dang Canyons, and sure enough, this is where the helicopter was. I got out and talked to some of the search and rescue people, and they said that someone broke his leg up at Ding Canyon and was there for most of the night. He broke his leg at like 7 p.m. last night, and they got him out at they got to him at 4 a.m. this morning. So, unpleasant. But they did get to him, and so presumably he's gonna get taken care of somewhere. You know, the weather is looking a little bit ominous, and it's not a smart thing to hike through slot canyons when there's rain, especially when there's rain above where the canyon is. It looks pretty dark up there. I don't think it is gonna rain. I think that if there was any more precipitation, it would just snow. But, you know, why risk it? So I'll save this hike up Ding and Dang Canyons for a future trip. I think now I'll head into Goblin Valley State Park. Okay, so I am in Goblin Valley State Park right now. It was $15 to get into the park, and I think $2 to get a backcountry permit, a canyoneering permit. I'm going to do a little hike that includes one rappel and a slot canyon, and should be really fun. It's called the Goblins' Lair, and from the pictures it looks incredible. I have been to this state park once before, several years ago. 8 years ago, maybe. I usually avoid state parks just because they're kind of expensive and usually inferior to other places that I could be going. But Goblin Valley is a really unique place and it is worth coming to. Anyway, I'm gonna get my gear ready to go and then head out on my little adventure through the Goblins' Lair. So I'm aiming toward this white dome out here. That's the landmark I'm aiming for. If there's any place that could be compared to a maze, it's this place. If I didn't have a couple of GPS coordinates, I'd be completely lost. Okay, so I see a cairn down there. So I guess that's where I have to go. I think I'm on the right track now. Here's that cairn I pointed out earlier. What a cool place. I think I'm just gonna be scrambling down here, and then that'll eventually get me to a rappel. So I Again, another cairn, and there are footprints down here, so that's good. I think I need to down climb over here, over here. I just wanted to give you a 360 view of this place. I just scrambled down from up here. It is wild. Okay, I think I've made it to the rappel. Here's some slings and rope around this boulder. Some rappel rings at the bottom, a couple of them. You can see the marks, the grooves from people's ropes right there. So I guess this is the rappel. I'm going to stick the camera out over the drop down where the rappel is. Don't freak out, it's on the end of my trekking pole. I'm not actually standing on the edge like that. I'm not really a canyoneer, but I am a rock climber. I've been a rock climber for 20 years, so I've done hundreds of rappels. This rappel is, I think, 80 or 90 feet, and I have a 70-meter rope, which is 230 feet-ish. And so what you do is you double up the rope so that the midpoint of the rope is through the rings right there. And then you rappel down using your rappel device going through both strands of the rope. And then when you get down to the bottom, you pull one end of the rope, and the other end eventually gets pulled through the anchors, and the rope falls down to you, and you can collect it and coil it back up again. You always want to make sure the anchor is good. In this case, it's around a couple super solid looking pieces of rock. No problems there. You also want to check the webbing. There are 3 pieces of webbing here, and I looked at them and they look pretty good. And same thing goes for the rappelling rings. So the anchor up here looks good. All I need to do is get the rope out and rappel down. Okay, so I've coiled the rope, I've put it through the anchors, you can see down here. So this goes to one end of the rope, this goes to the other end of the rope. You can see this black spot right here, that's the middle marker of the rope. And I've got it coiled, so now I need to just throw it off the edge and rappel down. But I'm gonna get my little head-mounted helmet cam out so I can have some first-person footage of the rappel. Okay, here's the helmet with the action cam. Now I just gotta put the camera stuff back in the backpack and rappel down. So future Tristan here. Unfortunately, the footage of the rappel was lost. That little GoPro camera that I use is not a real GoPro, it's a $60 one from Amazon, and so it has some quirks to it. One of them being it occasionally eats footage. I think it might have something to do with the longer clips, and so unfortunately the really awesome footage of me rappelling down into the Goblin's Lair is gone. I'm sorry, it's happened to me before with that camera eating footage, and I'm sorry it had to be that particular piece of footage, but it is, and so I'm sorry. Oh man, that was amazing. Okay, I'm pulling the rope now, untied the knots at the end, and I'm just pulling one side so that the other side can freely go up. Mission accomplished. Coiling the rope back up now to make it easier to carry out. And there you go. Alright, I got all my gear packed up and ready to go. But I haven't really shown you this place. So this is called the Goblin's Lair, this cave thing. In the ceiling, this is where I rappelled from. I rappelled from over here. And there are these holes in the ceiling. When you go further out that way, I'm gonna hike out over here. And then directly below the first hole, there's this open area. This is one of the coolest places I've been. I'm now going to hike back to my car. If you're not into rappelling, you can just hike to the entrance of the lair out here, and then scramble down the rocks until you're inside. Just look at this ceiling. Wow. I made it out. The entrance to the lair is behind me. It doesn't look like much from the outside. Man, that is one of the coolest things I've done. I think now I just follow this trail back around to my car. You can't even see it, but the lair is back in here. What a cool place. That's one of the more unique places in the desert right there. Look at this huge sand dune. It's gotta be, I don't know, a couple hundred feet high and several hundred feet wide. Alright, it's 12:30, I'm back at the car. It took about 2 hours round trip to do that little adventure, and it was so much fun. I'm really glad I did that. It's a little bit after 5, I found a really great campsite. I passed by this place yesterday, as I was driving to the Horseshoe Canyon section of Canyonlands National Park. And here it is. It's like a miniature Goblin Valley right here. The road is out here. I'm maybe 100 feet from the road. But let me explore a little bit and then I'll figure out where exactly I want to be. Here's where I'm currently parked from another angle. This rock formation is skinnier from this side. This place is so cool. Look at these spires and towers and formations. I think I am going to stay camped where the car is currently parked. It's not really level up here. So the area over there wasn't very level, and this over here where I was originally, it wasn't super level. But this is more level, so I moved just to the other side of the rock there. On the back side of these formations here, there's kind of one large sand dune. It kind of snakes its way down. I walked up here, you can see my footprints in the sand. What a cool spot to camp. Here's another look at the campsite from a different angle. and causing these little sand avalanches. I can see Factory Butte off in the distance. This is a famous southern Utah landmark. I think I'm going there tomorrow or the next day. I've never been right up next to it. Look at these tiny little footprints. They're the size of my thumb. And then this is interesting. This little bit of grass has been blown all around from wind coming in different directions, and it's made little crop circle on the sand. I like spots like this a lot. Spots that aren't all that interesting in the grand scheme of things. Like, this is not a destination by any means, but I just kind of came across it, and there are lots of just like little interesting things. Nothing huge or grand. This will never be a state park or a national park, but like those rock formations over there, and then those other ones behind me, these couple sets of sand dunes, interesting things you see on the dunes, the cliffs above me here. Got this pillar leaning up against the cliff. And look at this over here. Look at this. All these rocks, all these boulders have just crumbled from this spot up here and just littering the mountainside. I think that's it for today for this video. Got a couple hours of daylight left. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your favorite part was, and I'll talk to you soon in the next video.